Hello guys, my name is Hugo, welcome to my channel. I'm Los Angeles based DP and today I want to talk about using OLED TV as the reference monitor. So a little bit of backstory. I'm gonna try to keep it short, but long story short, I bought an Apple Studio Display, the new one that they just released, and I actually have a video about this on my channel, and I didn't like it and I had to return it. And after that I started looking into some really good displays for color grading work, because I besides cinematography I also do color grading. I like playing with the color science and image and overall, you know, and I needed a decent display. Turned out to be on the market of consumer monitors for computers. There are many options, and on YouTube I found a few guys who were using OLED TVs as a reference monitor for color grading work. And I decided to give it a try. I bought an LG C1 48 inches, and from a moment I opened up and handed it on the wall, I was just blown away from the quality it was producing. The contrast ratio and the blacks were just insane. All my monitors next to it, all my old monitors next to it looked miserable. Even before they looked fine to me, but next to OLED screen they just looked miserable. And overall, just this glossy surface looks so slick on the desktop, and I got used to it so quickly. Just to give you a comparison, so on the consumer market of monitors for computers, the monitors don't really offer you that much, where OLED TVs can provide you way more technologies. Like for instance, this OLED LG has Dolby Vision, HDR+, HDR10, Rec 2020, P3, all kind of standards, you know. And it's rarely you can find those kind of options on even way more expensive monitors. Even for instance, Apple Xdr, the one that's 6K, the one that's $6,000, it doesn't have Dolby Vision. It probably doesn't even have HDR, I'm not sure. But and I'm gonna talk more about comparing OLED TV to Xdr Display. But as of accuracy straight out of the box, there is a Filmmakers mode, which is very accurate. And by the time I bought my 48-inch LG, I had Flanders reference monitor, and my Flanders monitor was LCD. And it was a very good monitor that I used for a while, and I loved it. But I loved it before I started using OLED TV. And the reason why is because the blacks on Flanders, they looked so bad comparing to the LG OLED. So I just couldn't live with it, and I sold my Flanders and I upgraded to a Sony reference OLED display. And to my surprise, the quality and the color accuracy of OLED TV comparing to Sony reference OLED display, which is $10,000, was so close. It was just very surprising that I can get this reference quality on a TV OLED display. So I had my OLED TV 48 inches for about a month. And I had some concerns about the size, because it was a little bit on the large side, and the pixel density wasn't perfect, and I had some issues with the text, when you perceive text when you're just browsing on the internet, you know. It had some color fringing and all that kind of stuff, you know, those issues that you have with using TV. LG recently released a new series called LG C2, and they announced that they're gonna have a 42 inches version, which is the smallest OLED TV in the world. I pre-ordered it right away, and a month later, since I bought my first OLED TV, I received this OLED C2 42 inches, and I was really happy about it, because if you think about it, 42 inches and 48 inches, it's not that much, but 42 inches and 48 inches was a big difference. 42 inches felt way more comfortable on the table, on the desk, The size was way more manageable, and the pixel density was higher. Therefore, I couldn't really perceive the pixels, the pixels on the screen from a comfortable viewing distance. Where with 48, I would occasionally see and was irritated by that. So the 42 inches was just the perfect balance. You may think about it, 42 inches is still a large display, but quite honestly, when you use editing software, when you use DaVinci and all that, you have this UI, the overlay of different tools, and the actual screen is usually, the actual preview screen is usually smaller. So having a big screen when you do editing and stuff, you know, and color grading, it's actually really convenient, you know, because you have all the tools you need, and you have enough real estate to preview your videos. And these 42 inches, even though it felt like on the paper the technologies were pretty much the same to the 48 inches, the one I had before, but it felt really different. It felt more like an appropriate monitor, because all the issues with the text and with all pixel density, they were gone with 42 inches. The 42 inches was just a perfect, like it was designed for computers. It's probably in a way was designed because 42 inches was advertised like a monitor for filmmakers to use. So they probably worked on something to eliminate those issues with perceiving text. So I want to talk about comparing these TV, and just to give you an understanding how much is it. It was about $1,400 to buy this TV, the 42 inches, and 48 inches was even cheaper. It was about $1,000. Yes, it's weird, 42 inches is more expensive than 48 inches, which doesn't really make sense, but since I started using it, I understand that improves some things for using it as a desktop monitor, so it kind of makes sense. But to compare this display to Xdr, the Apple display, the reference monitor, you'll be surprised, but Xdr display looks kind of awful comparing to OLED TV. It looks good, don't get me wrong, the Xdr looks good, it has a great brightness and all that, but it has some serious blooming issues because the Xdr 6K display uses the old technology. It doesn't have mini LED. It has serious blooming around the contrast. When you have like a black and I have like a white spots, it has serious blooming issues. And if you compare side to side the Xdr, because my friend has the Xdr display, and I tested the OLED TV versus the Xdr, I was surprised how better OLED is, how nicer image perceiving, and how better it is even in terms of technologies, because you get all this Dolby Vision, HDR stuff, and Rec 2020, where you don't get this in XDR display. The new XDR displays that used in Apple new iPad and the new Apple MacBook Pros, this XDR actually even better than the one that is used in the 6K display, because this is a new technology already. They're using mini LED, and those XDR displays are actually really close to OLED displays, because they no longer have these blooming issues, because the mini LED, it's basically the dimming zones as good as OLEDs, and therefore they look just incredible. So I compared those screens as well, and actually it's funny, I got obsessed about OLED screens so bad that I had to replace my reference monitor to OLED. I had to replace my laptop M1 MacBook, the first one, M1 Pro, MacBook Pro, to the new generation, the 16-inch with XDR display, and I had to upgrade my iPad to the new XDR display, simply because you get obsessed with OLED so quickly. I just couldn't perceive image on any other screen, you know. When I do professional workflow, I just couldn't look at the normal screen no more. That's how easy to get used to these true blacks. So I had to upgrade some other devices as well to get the OLED look. So comparing to this new Sony OLED reference display, which is about $10,000 if you buy it new, It's a proper reference display. It probably can't get any better than that. And to my surprise, this new LG OLED TV, right next to this Sony OLED reference display, they looked almost identical. And that is shocking. To get the quality of a reference display for $1,400 is just insane. So as you can tell, I'm really happy about this TV using as a monitor, and I don't think I'm going back to consumer monitors any soon. I also want to talk about brightness, probably because the brightness is probably the biggest downside of OLED screens. Yes, it's not as bright as the XDR or any other like IPS LCD displays, so you're not gonna get the incredible brightness at the daytime performance. But if you like in a controlled light and studio environment, if you have like a studio or you can control light in your space, then OLED is just great. So just a few tips to make this TV work as a monitor, so it doesn't have any lag when you're using the mouth, you know, it's a common issue. So you just need to make sure that your input is set to computer, and then you don't have any issues. Input lag is gonna be eliminated, and it's gonna work just normal monitor, you know. Also, you probably need to get a service remote so you can turn off this dimming. There is like a dimming thing that protects the OLED, but I think you're gonna be fine with it. I spoke to my many friends who are using OLED TVs as a reference monitor, and they all use this service remote to turn off these dimming features. Also, I want to mention that I like the wake up time, even though like you still have to use remote every time you turn it off and turn it on, because it doesn't wake up automatically when you wake up the computer. But from the moment you pressed the on button, the TV wakes up almost instantly, which is really great, because all other computer monitors, they usually take time to wake up, and it's so irritating when you need to start working on something as soon as possible. That's what I actually liked a lot in Apple displays, because Apple displays, they wake up instantly, and I'm happy to see that I don't have these issues on TV, because that was one of my concerns, because I thought if it's TV, it's gonna take some time to wake up. So no, it wakes up really quick. And I want to talk also about speakers, because in Apple display I also liked a lot that there were built-in speakers, and they sounded great. They were loud, clear. So TV by default also has really great speakers, and I'm happy to hear that I no longer need extra speakers, because I can just use the ones that are built in the TV. They're just good enough for most standard work, you know, unless you doing some audio work, you know. So that's pretty much it. For those who were interested in using OLED TV as the reference monitor, here are my thoughts. My personal opinion, it's a great thing. Before, every time I saw that someone uses a TV as the monitor, I thought it's kind of stupid. But the technologies went so up, and you can see that TVs can offer way more right now than just standard computer monitors. And you pay a decent price for this, you know. And I specifically would recommend to go with the 42 inches, the OLED. And by the way, Sony also released the 42 inches, which also could be really good. But I tested myself the LG 42, and I'm incredibly happy. It brings me joy every time I use it, every time I sit before the computer. I just love it. So I hope this information was useful for you. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.